deste grupo, queremos entregar-lhe este livro de missas pela amiga da sua mãe e em nome de todos nós continuamos com as nossas condolências pela partida da sua mãe, que eu sei que foi muito duro para si, e seguimos pedindo pela amiga dela que ela descanse em paz, já está junto ao seu pai, ao seu marido e a todos aqueles familiares que lá no céu se encontram. É duro, a recordação fica sempre as lembranças do tempo que tinha a hora marcada para falar com ela, mas continua a marcar a hora e fala com ela para o céu. Então, em nome do nosso grupo, queremos entregar-lhe este livro de missas e este é umas missas que eu pessoalmente mandei fazer para ela também.
Obrigado. Obrigado de coração. Os irmãos também, muito obrigado.
E agora a gente vai dar a nossa menção, a nossa comida, feita pelo Padre André, e dar a nossa oração.
Queridos irmãos e irmãs, primeiramente agradeço muito todas as vossas orações pela minha mãe. Então agradeço muito tudo, Pai Nosso, Ave Marias e outras orações que foram feitas publicamente, em comunidade, particularmente por vocês e tantas outras pessoas que rezaram, continuam a rezar pelo eterno descanso da minha mãe. E como vocês sabem, amanhã, sexta-feira, 7 horas da noite, teremos a missa memorial pela alma da minha querida mãe. Convido todos a participar junto conosco, porque minha mãe e nossa mãe somos todos comunidade, somos todos a família, então, rezando uns pelos outros, vivemos a comunidade. Então, agradeço muito a nossa direção da 3Idade, todo o acompanhamento, pois foi também necessário na hora da perda. Todos nós temos estas experiências, nós sabemos o que nós sentimos nos nossos corações. Mas a vida continua, acreditamos na eternidade, acreditamos que um dia encontraremos todos felizes na casa do nosso Pai Celeste. Queremos continuar a nossa missão cá na terra, nas mãos de Deus. Por isso vamos fazer a oração para o grupo da 3Idade. Todos, quem pode se levantar, se levanta, quem não pode, continua sentado. Vamos fazer juntos. Em nome do Pai, do Filho e do Espírito Santo. Amém. Senhor Deus, nosso Pai misericordioso, nós te louvamos e te agradecemos por nos concederes o dom da vida e por cada um de nós anos vividos. Agradecemos por todas as bênçãos que recebemos, pelas amizades, pela sabedoria adquirida ao longo do tempo e pela tua presença constante em nossas vidas. Hoje queremos pedir que o teu Espírito Santo nos fortaleça, nos ensine e nos guie, para que possamos continuar a viver com alegria e com amor. Em meio das dificuldades da idade avançada, possamos ser testemunhas da tua graça, levando aos outros a paz, a esperança e a fé que encontramos em ti. Senhor, abençoa cada um de nós aqui reunidos, que nossa união como grupo de fé seja fonte de apoio e de consolo para todos, e que possamos crescer juntos em oração e fraternidade, que nossas orações cheguem até a ti e sejam respostas às necessidades do nosso coração. Pedimos também por nossa paróquia para que continue sendo um lugar de acolhimento e de luz, onde todos, especialmente os mais velhos, possam encontrar conforto e força para seguir o teu caminho. Por nosso Senhor Jesus Cristo, vosso Filho, que é Deus convosco na unidade do Espírito Santo. Amém. Pai nosso que estais nos céus, santificado seja o vosso nome. Venha a nós o vosso reino, seja feita a vossa vontade, assim na terra como no céu. O pão nosso de cada dia nos dai hoje. Perdoai-nos as nossas ofensas, assim como nós perdoamos a quem nos tem ofendido. E não nos deixeis cair em tentação, mas livrai-nos do mal. Amém. Ave Maria, cheia de graça, o Senhor é convosco. Bendita sois vós entre as mulheres, bendito é o fruto do vosso ventre, Jesus. Santa Maria, Mãe de Deus, rogai por nós, pecadores, agora e na hora da nossa morte. Amém. Glória ao Pai, ao Filho e ao Espírito Santo, como era no princípio, agora e sempre. Amém. Senhor nosso Deus, e queremos abençoar os alimentos que vamos partilhar, que sempre sejam o sinal visível da vossa presença no meio de nós. Que os alimentos que partilhamos sejam sinal da partilha dos nossos corações. Que haja mesa farta das famílias do mundo inteiro. Que haja partilha do pão de cada dia em todos os lugares desta terra. E nós queremos vos louvar, nosso Deus. Glória ao Pai, ao Filho e ao Espírito Santo, como era no princípio, agora e sempre. Amém. Em nome do Pai, do Filho e do Espírito Santo. Amém. Então desejamos também para nosso famoso videógrafo, fotógrafo, o Francisco Godinho. Salva de palmas por dia de aniversário.
Muito obrigado, muito obrigado.
Nesta data querida, muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida, alegria de festa, para acalmar nossas almas, para
Obrigado, obrigado. Obrigado, obrigado. Bom apetite, tudo bem.
Recordei.
Oh, muito obrigada, senhora. Bom proveito.
Obrigado. Parabéns.
Oh, obrigada, obrigada. Obrigada, bom apetite. Bom apetite. Muito obrigado ao senhor, yes. Obrigada.
Para comer?
Mais daqui de quase.
Então, tem que comer depois de dobrar.
Yeah, ok, bom apetite.
Obrigada, igualmente.
Obrigada. Olá, tudo bem? A senhora está boa?
Obrigada.
Bom apetite.
Igualmente para si.
Muito obrigada. Bom apetite. Bom apetite. Bom apetite à senhora. A senhora está a ficar bom apetite. Thank you very much. Bom apetite para a senhora. Muito obrigada, muito obrigada. Obrigada. Bom apetite. Bom apetite. Muito obrigada, senhora Soares.
Que a gente veja muitos anos mais.
Ok,
Tá bem?
obrigada, muito obrigada. Oh, thank you. Muito obrigada à senhora Imelda, não é?
É, o meu é sábado. Somos caranguejos, o meu exame é sábado.
Também é agora sábado, é?
Sim. Não queres saber quanto é?
Ora,
Uma quantidade.
Não há muito.
É.
Só acho que tu.
Se eu não tivesse gravei dizer,
Mas já se vi.
mas então é cansa câncer, as pessoas câncer são boas pessoas.
Olha, e já dou os parabéns adiantados para a senhora.
Sim.
Pode ser? Pode ser? Pode ser? Pode ser? Pode ser? Muitos parabéns.
Da sua irmã é voltado, tá? E agora fazes um com o Francisco.
É a senhora que fez a sopa ou não?
Não.
Ajudou só.
Nada, nem ajudei. Que
Nem sequer ajudou, não foi?
hoje não deu tempo para ajudar, já.
Ok.
A Fernanda e o António fizeram uma sopa.
Fizeram a sopa.
É, canja de galinha, mas a sopa foi hoje donada pelo nosso vice-presidente.
Ok.
Moisés Ramos e a esposa.
E a esposa também ajudou.
Yeah.
Está bom? Está com um bom aspecto. Yes.
Agora é o aniversariante é que se vai servir agora uma deslinha de sopa.
Yes,
Ok?
yes,
Também
yes.
tem direito a sentar-se e enjoy a sua sopa.
Ok, obrigado.
Ok? Desejo muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida, Francisco.
Muito obrigado à
Que
senhora
Deus te dê
Fernanda.
muita saúde.
E também preciso de saúde, não o seu birthday, mas eu desejo para si
Obrigada.
muita saúde e felicidade.
Ok, obrigada, igualmente.
Obrigado.
Já vou.
Muito obrigado, yes.
Eram jovens, muito jovens, ele e ela, mas tinha um sonho de um dia se casar. Um dia.
Sempre a trabalhar. O senhor vai com a mesa na mão.
Yeah. Ok,
Está lá, está lá.
Uma sofata de
Oh,
essas
isso é da Onetes, não é?
uma donete, são umas
E elas estão aqui bem bonitas.
estão bem engraçadinhas.
Engraçadinhas, não é?
Estão bem criadas de quê?
Está ok? Oh,
Sabe o que é o vinho fino?
não sei.
Não sabe o que é o vinho do Porto?
Sei, conheço o vinho Porto.
Então, eu sou igual a eu.
Oh, melhor a senhora, melhor soon, não é? Então, a senhora está a lavar hoje aqui a panela? Mas o senhor António que lavava isso, ou fugi, pá. Já não está aqui?
Para a casa da afinidade.
Oh, isso é que é pior.
Da lá vamos todos.
Ai não, isso é certo. Sou o Zé Betão, o que é que está a fazer aqui? Tem...
Começar a aquecer água para fazer uma estufa.
Ou mais sopas, não é? Mas aí já está assim quentinho e tudo, não é?
É para 5 horas da manhã.
Oh,
Para a missa de 5 horas.
vai haver uma festa aqui amanhã, hein?
É para a missa para a da mãe.
Programa do seu padre, ok, do seu padre André. E o senhor está aqui a botar água para a sopa?
Não é para fazer nas bolas, é no toque.
A notaça, ok, já
Aquilo é
compreendi.
muito pesado para ver
I know, yeah.
Então é perigoso fazer sopa.
Yeah. E o Sr. Moisés, a sua função aqui o que é? Botar os pratos ali naquela coisa?
Está lá passa.
É?
Para aí, amanhã.
Oh, tem que ser, para, não está a dizer para o seu padre. Vão fazer,
Às 7 horas estamos aqui a missa de Prama da Mãe de Paz.
depois da missa, vem cá abaixo e tem um jantar.
Vem, tem mais cedo.
Oh,
Então, você está uma da mãe.
já está bom.
Sim.
É a vida está sempre a correr.
Tem que andar.
Então está bom, como é que vai isso?
Cambridge, está em Cambridge.
Está em Cambridge, onde é vestido de Cambridge, já. Eu sou
London.
em Londres, não é?
Não, está atrás.
Está a Troy, é. E frio.
João.
É João, não é?
João Rude.
João Ruda. Eu vejo sempre esses programas. Eu vejo os programas, vê. Olha, um abraço para ele.
E João Luís, Montreal.
Também tem um em Montreal, não é? João Luís.
João Luís Bessebré.
E é de São Miguel, esse João Luís é da sua ilha, não é? De São Miguel. Um abraço para ele.
E para tu.
E para todos. E saúde para o senhor. Vim aqui à igreja.
Ok. Thank you.
You're welcome. Olá, boa tarde. A senhora está boa?
Graças a Deus, tudo bem.
E a senhora como é que se chama?
Maria Alice,
A senhora é natural de onde é?
sou natural da ilha do Faial.
Do Faial?
É da melhor ilha dos Açores.
O Faial, não é? A seguir à terceira é a melhor.
Já estive lá.
Já esteve na terceira?
Meu marido trabalhou lá e eu estive lá uns meses.
Uns meses lá, não é?
Depois fomos chamados para vir para o Canadá.
Oh. E a senhora já está aqui há muitos anos aqui no Canadá?
Há muitos anos. Há mais de 60 anos, 65 anos.
65 anos? Oh, quase dos pioneiros, dos primeiros que vierem.
Fomos dos primeiros.
Dos primeiros?
Não dos primeiros, mas muito perto.
Muito perto dos primeiros, é. A senhora já tem saudades da sua terra?
Tenho sempre saudades da minha terra.
E a senhora vai lá todos os anos ou é lá de vez em quando?
Não, fomos umas quantas vezes quando o meu marido era vivo, mas ele já morreu e agora estou aqui com os meus filhos.
Oh, ok. Está bom.
Já estou aqui há 65 anos.
65, não é? E a senhora tem lá familiares e amigos lá na sua...
Há uma irmã.
Uma irmã?
Tenho
Ou um irmão?
um irmão.
Um irmão. E,
Já estive lá várias vezes.
já esteve lá várias vezes?
Gosto muito do nosso mar.
Do mar, não é? Aquele cheiro daquela água salgada com o sol. Está bom, agora a senhora quer mandar lá um abraço para ela? Um cumprimento para a sua irmã?
Será entregue. Será entregue.
Ok, olha, eu gostei de conversar consigo, obrigado pelas suas palavras.
Obrigado por me ter aqui a falar.
Ok, não há problema.
Eu sou pessoa estudada.
Estudada, eu também não sou. Olha, muita saúde para si e felicidades também.
E para si também. Continua a fazer o que está a fazer. Está a fazer muito bem.
Ok, muito obrigada à senhora. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Thank you. Thank you. A senhora como é que está a gostar de ser dia hoje aqui na
Eu
Igreja?
gosto sempre, já há 15
sempre?
anos que ando aqui.
Yeah. E a senhora gostou aqui da comida? Estava tudo bom?
A espelhua estava boazinha,
Estava boa?
com a espinha de pão lá dentro, deve ter-se a
Tá bom.
comer.
A senhora é da Madeira, não é?
Sou da Madeira, graças a Deus.
Com muito prazer, não é?
Do freguesia de São Martim, Conselho do Funchal. É um belo lugar que é.
É o melhor lugar que tem na Madeira, não
É
é?
um lugar muito bom.
E a senhora já vai...
A beira-mar, é quentinho, não é frio.
Ficava à beira-mar, não é?
Fica São Martim, fica
São
à
Martinho
beira-mar.
é à beira-mar, não é?
Já era mais. Acima de São Martinho fica o Santo António, o Cristiano Ronaldo.
A estátua do Cristiano, não é? Está lá, não é?
Está lá e ele mora logo perto da minha freguesia.
E a senhora já foi lá ver essa estátua do Ronaldo?
Já vi.
Já vi pessoalmente, já?
Pessoalmente.
Tá bom. Porque a senhora tem lá família, não é?
Ainda tenho um irmão, mas não vou mais sobre dele. Está para lá.
Já está.
E eu estou aqui.
E a senhora está aqui, um para lá e outro para cá, não é? É como a todas as famílias, é assim?
Tudo gosta de ilhar, mas para mim, eu digo, já vendi o meu bocadinho da madeira, agora já não tenho lá nada.
Mas a senhora vai lá todos os anos, é?
Não, eu fui no 2010 e nunca mais lá vou. Que a minha intenção não é para ir lá mais.
Mas a senhora não pode andar de avião, não é?
Posso andar de avião, nunca tive problemas com o avião.
Há outros motivos.
Sabe o que é? A madeira é muito bonita, é muito boa, mas é muito subir e muito descer.
É uma montanhoso.
É para as pernas das pessoas de idade já não é bom.
Ok, para andar a pé não presta, tem que ser de carro.
É.
E mesmo assim de carro é perigoso, não é? Tem muitos caminhos apertadinhos e sobe muito.
Mas eles dizem que não há drivers melhores que os da madeira.
São bons,
Os da
não é?
madeira são os melhores drivers que há. Para andar naquelas
coisinhas estreitas e Está bom. Está bom. Olha, eu gostei de conversar com você, a senhora que tem um bom dia aqui na Igreja do Cristo Rei e uma boa semana.
E para o Sr. Francisco um rápido birthday.
Obrigado.
E sábado também vou para a casa do meu filho fazer o birthday do meu netinho mais pequenino.
Ok, muitos parabéns para ele. E obrigado pelas suas palavras.
Obrigado eu.
There's that old adage, right? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In frauds, it's, I think, very different. An ounce of prevention is worth about 7 tons of cure. Because the cure, in a lot of cases for frauds, is very good. Most of the time when people lose their money, the money is gone and they'll have to pay it back. So, what I then decided to do was move over to this unit, crime prevention now, where I teach people about how to recognize frauds, how to recognize different crimes and stay safe from them. I can't talk about every single type of fraud that is out there. There's just not enough time. I could talk for hours about all the different cases that I've seen, all the different ways in which you can be defrauded. What I'm going to concentrate on is going to be the ones that affect more the day-to-day people. Okay? Does everybody here know somebody who's been affected by fraud?
Yeah?
Yeah, probably, right?
I did.
Anybody ever been on Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, a few people? I would say about half of that is fraud, right? There's all kinds of stuff out there. It's probably not half, but there's probably a lot out there, right? There's going to be stuff all the time. Who's gotten that phone call? Always right before dinner time. Hi, I'm calling from Air Duct Cleaning Services. Yeah? Hi, this is the CRA calling. Your SIM card is there's a problem with your SIM card. We're going to arrest you. We all deal with fraud day to day to day to day. We all see it all the time, right? So we're already kind of looking for it, but there are lots of people out there who are not ready for it. So whatever information I give to you, please, I am one person talking to an audience of about 100 people. You guys take that information and pass it along to the people out there, because that makes sure that everybody's a little bit prepared. Okay? Across the street there, by the gates. So it's good to kind of come back to my old neighborhood. I've been with Peel, like I said, for 20 years. Most of my career, I worked at Aaron Mills and Dundas at 11 Division. I was a constable there. I was also a detective there for a little while. And then I moved over to our other facility where I joined our fraud bureau. As a fraud officer, I worked there for 4 years, and my last year I was the elder abuse coordinator for our fraud team. So this particular topic is one that's kind of near and dear to me. And so, if this ever decides to reset, we'll get this fraud presentation going. That has to do a simple function. We already talked about why we need to learn. We already learned why we need to learn about frauds and scams. Oh, it's scam. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. It's here if you need it. Thank you. So, we'll start with something simple. What is a fraud? Okay? We can have long definitions about what a fraud is. There's a fancy one that comes with this presentation if it ever comes up. But I like to call it something very simple. It's a theft with a lie. Most of the time when somebody steals something, they just go, they grab it, and they run away, right? We all know that's a theft. But in a fraud, it's a little bit different. In a fraud, they're going to lie to you first. They're either going to try to scare you, or they're going to promise you something, and you're going to hand over that money, often willingly. Or that information, often willingly. Sometimes without ever knowing at the time that you're actually being defrauded. One of the difficult things about investigating frauds is that very often we're learning about them months, sometimes years after they've happened, right? Weeks, months, years. And all that precious time, unfortunately, makes it very difficult for us to recover money sometimes. So, how do we recognize them? Well, there's a bunch of different types of frauds, okay? A big one is identity theft. And we'll start there. We have to broaden the definition of identity theft. We used to just think it was like your name, your social security number, your driver's license information, your birthday, things like that. And we all know that that's important stuff that we shouldn't just give out to anybody. But what about things like our passwords, our email logins? These things are also really important. And people are giving them up a lot of time without even knowing. Has anybody ever heard of the term called phishing? Yes. Good. A few of you, okay? Phishing means that is essentially just like real fishing. They're casting a net, a wide net, to try to capture as much information as possible. And these phishing emails, or text messages, or phone calls, they try to make them look legitimate. Maybe they'll send you an email from Bell Canada, right? And it says, you have a Bell refund. Click on this link to receive your refund. Wouldn't that be something for Bell to give you a refund?
Yes. And sometimes you don't even have anything to do with Bell.
Sometimes you have nothing to do with Bell. Or you'll get that email from Netflix. Your Netflix account has been canceled. Click on this link to fix it. And you're like, anybody ever try to cancel Netflix? It's like 87 steps. There's no way they would just cancel it on you, right? They want that credit card information coming in. They hope you forget about it, actually. I'm sure that's how they work. But they're going to send you these emails. Anybody ever gotten the email from Amazon? Yeah, the phone calls from Amazon. Yeah, look at the phone calls too. So all these things are trying to trick you. They want you to click on that link, right? They want you to click on that link to then take you to a site that looks like their site. Who has Facebook Messenger here? Most of you? Great tool for communicating with people. Fantastic. You can talk to people across the seas. It's awesome. But who's ever gotten that message on Facebook Messenger saying, hey, check this out, with a link? Yeah. And then they get a message from their friend 3 weeks later. Don't open anything from me, I got hacked. Well, that little message that you got that says, hey, check this out, or it says, ooh, look at this, or guess who died? That's taking you to a phishing site. And when you click on that link, it'll take you to what looks like Facebook Messenger's login page. You type in your information, you click enter, it says, oops, didn't get it. You type it in again, they've captured your information out. If you're running a business and your business is on Facebook and you lose your email and password, good luck ever getting it back. Okay? So be very, very careful. What we suggest is when you receive those links, when you receive that email saying, hey, there's something wrong with your bank account. Hey, there's something wrong with this. Hey, receive this thing. Don't click on those emails. Okay? Do not open them. Do not put your information into it. What you should do is say you're with TD Bank and you get an email from TD Bank that says, there's a problem with your account. Click on this link to log in. Close your email. Open up a new page, or if you're on your phone, close your email, open up the app, then log into your banking like you normally would, or better yet, go to the branch before you click on that link, okay? Before you click on any link, be very, very careful. Most people who give up their information have no idea that they've done it. We've kind of expanded the definition of phishing to include smishing, which is essentially the same thing, but instead of phishing over the computer, they're now trying to get you through your SMS on your phone, your text messages, okay? So, has anybody ever received, especially around March, April, May, that text message from the CRA saying, your refund is ready? That's a phishing email, right? That's somebody trying to grab your login information for your bank. Or if you receive a text message out of nowhere saying, hey, I'm sending you an e-transfer. Ooh, free money. Money's never free, right? You always have to work for it. Nobody's sending you money for free. Don't click on that, right? Don't click on those text messages. It'll take you to a site that looks just like the Interact site. It'll look exactly like it. And as soon as you put your information, boom, they've captured it. Phishing is the same thing, except now it's over voice. Those guys who call you up, hi, I'm calling from the credit card company. Which one? I got like 6 credit cards. Which one are you calling me from? Right? I'm calling from Visa, MasterCard. Which is it? Visa or MasterCard? What they're trying to do is they're doing what's called cold reading. Anybody ever gone to see a psychic before? Right? Psychics will do that. What they'll do is they'll give you a little bit of information. They'll say, you know, I sense somebody has a connection to the letter M in their life. Who has somebody with the letter M? Everybody. Everybody, right? Mom, dad, whatever. But they give you a little bit of info, and they hope you give a little bit back. We see that with the grandparent scams. Hey, Grandma, it's your grandson. Oh, is it Johnny? Yep, it's Johnny. That's what they do. Oh, hey, Grandma, it's your favorite grandson. Oh, Jeremy? Oh, yeah, it's Jeremy. All the other grandkids now know they're not the favorite. But that's what they'll do. They'll give that little bit of information and hoping you give it back. So if somebody's calling you, so we like to think now, if somebody's reaching out to you saying that there's a problem, be very, very suspicious. If somebody's reaching out to you out of the blue, offering to give you something, be very, very suspicious about giving up information, right? If that guy's calling saying, hey, there's a warrant for your arrest because you haven't paid your taxes, what's your name? Well, how do you know there's a warrant for my arrest if you don't know my name? That's ridiculous, right? But that's what they're going to try to do. They'll try to scare you or entice you and get you to give that little bit of information back. So, in general, when we're talking about those kinds of frauds, right? Don't click on those links. Close it down. Right? Close the website that you're looking at it down before you enter if you need to check up on your stuff. If somebody's calling from your bank, hi, I'm calling from Scotiabank Security. I would like you to help me out. There's a problem with your account. You need to move your money to this other account to keep it safe. Okay? That actually happened to a victim of mine. She did the right thing. She said, I'm going to call you back from the number on the back of my card. She hung up. Picked up the phone again. It was a landline. They were still there. She dialed the number. She didn't know. She went right back to them. She ended up spending about $90,000. The banks were able to recover a little bit, but unfortunately most of that money was gone. So be careful. If you're going to call on your phone, maybe use it on your landline, use a cell phone. If they're calling on your cell phone, use a landline, because the two often aren't connected to each other anyway in any meaningful way. So go one to the other. And then make sure your passwords, I know this is tough because there's a million passwords now, but make sure your passwords are a little bit more secure, that they're not all the same. At the very least, don't make your password for your email and your password for your online banking the same. Because if they get one, they get the other. More types of frauds. We have the advance fee, lottery, and grandparent schemes, or emergency scheme frauds. Lottery frauds should be pretty obvious, right? You cannot win any lottery you didn't play. In fact, in Canada, it's illegal to enter somebody's name for any kind of draw or lottery without their knowledge. So if you didn't play a lottery, you definitely didn't win a lottery. And if you did play a lottery, you're probably not winning the lottery either. Right? You should never have to pay advance fees. Do we pay taxes on lottery winnings in Canada? No, it's the only thing we don't pay taxes on. And that's because nobody wins. Somebody wins sometimes. If you win in the US, do you pay taxes?
Yes.
Yes. But when do you pay your taxes? After you've received the money. You get the money first. So anybody calling and asking you for any fees, transfer fees, holding fees, name transfer fees, taxes, import fees, transfer from Canada to US, if anybody's ever saying anything like that, they are 100% scamming you. Now, be aware, they will try to get people in any way they can. You're an older crowd, I apologize for saying it like that, but one of my victims, 91 years old in British Columbia. And the reason I'm going to point this one out is because this is kind of the stage in life that myself and other people are in. Her husband died 3 weeks before. I suspect the scammers got the information for her from her obituary, from the obituary for her husband. Obituaries are public information. They're often posted online. They have names, name of the deceased, birthplace of the deceased, spouse of the deceased, children of the deceased, workplace of the deceased, all that information. And they called her and they were able to give her all of that. They told her she had won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. But because he was American and she was Canadian, she had to pay the transfer fees. Over 2 years, she was told she had won $6 million and a brand new Mercedes-Benz. Over 2 years, this 91-year-old woman paid $204,000. That all went to organized crime. And unfortunately, we were able to arrest somebody in connection with the case here in Canada. We were not able to recover even a single dollar because it was all gone. So, know that there is information you're putting out there. You might not know what it is, okay? They might know something about you. They might give some information, but if somebody's calling you out of the blue like that, be very, very susceptible. And a couple of warning signs are, they told her not to tell anybody. Who's not going to tell their kids they just won the lottery? Right? Why are they telling me not to tell anybody? Why are they telling me to stay secret? Why are they insisting that I have to pay right away? Hey, if you don't do this right now, you lose the opportunity. Does that sound like a lottery winner, or does that sound like a used car salesman? Right? Same tactic, right? Buy this car right now. This is a great deal. My manager said if I sell it to you at this price, I'm actually losing money, so you have to pay this now. Okay? There's 3 other people waiting to buy this car, and I'm giving you a great deal. Right? It's the same tactic. It's a sales tactic. We talked a little bit about grandparents schemes. It's the same kind of idea. Now instead of offering you something good, now they're trying to scare you. So they're going to call you, hi grandma, grandpa. Right? Maybe they know, maybe from your last name. Right? Maybe they might know that maybe you're nonna, or abuela, or lola. Or which one? Vavo? Okay, yeah. Maybe they might know that. But honestly, they might know something like that. These guys are really, really good. When I was working in frauds, one of my partners was in set with an OPP team that was doing a wiretap on a group that was doing these grandparent scams. They make 100 to 150 phone calls every single day. All they need to do is get one person. One a week. And you know how much they made off that one person that 1 week when we caught them? $50,000. Yeah, it's a lot of money. And so again, they're going to try to scare you. It's that tactic, okay? Either give you something you really want, or make you fear, make you not think, okay? And one of my victims was a lady from Woodbridge. And she said, while we were talking to her, we were really fortunate in this case, we did recover her money. it was $16,000. And we asked her, tell us about the call. She goes, well, he called and he said, hi nonna. And he said it in the way my grandson says nonna. And I was thinking, lady, you're in Woodbridge, everybody says nonna that way. And then she goes, I remember asking him, was there something wrong with your voice? You sound different. And he said, yeah, I was in a car accident, and so my voice is a little messed up. She sent $16,000. Now, luckily, we were able to recover it. Okay? A lot of it by luck, but we were able to recover it. And we got her that money back. So she was very, very fortunate. But this is how they're trying to get you, right? They're going to give you a little bit. They're going to scare you. They're going to try to make you afraid for either someone you love or for yourself. That's the same thing as the CRA scam, right? The immigration scam. Anybody ever get that call? Your permanent residency, your PR card has been suspended. Please pay this amount of money. Okay? Please pay in gift cards, or please pay Google Play. Please pay in cryptocurrency, or else we're going to come and arrest you. So it's good to be aware of those things. Now there's a really simple trick. Everybody's heard of the new AI technology that's out there?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear about like the deep fakes where they can perfectly mimic somebody's face and perfectly mimic their voice. Now I'm going to tell you, I have yet to see that really come out in frauds. And it's probably because it's too hard to target one person with it. It's easier to just send it out to 1,000 people and hope one of them bites. But there's a really, really, really simple trick that even the best AI can't fool. Okay? Even the best AI can't get through. Have a password with your grandkids, with your children. Hey, grandson, granddaughter, if you're ever in trouble, simple thing. I got a password. It's microphone. You say microphone, I know it's you, and that's it. AI calls you, sounds exactly like granddaughter, grandson. You go, cool, what's the password? AI is a lot of things. It's not psychic. Simple thing like that. Simple password. You need help from grandma? You just give me that simple password. Don't use microphone, use something else, because it's going to YouTube. But yeah, so have something small, something simple like that in place is enough that you will know then that that's actually the person you're speaking to. That you know that that's a person who you trust and that they can trust you. So have that simple password. Beyond that, COVID changed a lot of things in the last 5 years, right? It's hard to believe COVID was almost 5 years ago, but it still changed a lot. We used to tell people, never give up your information online or over the phone, and then COVID happened, and everything's online and over the phone. So now we kind of change it up a little bit. We say, okay, if you're reaching out to something, you're probably okay, especially if you trust it. You know it's the same banks that you go to every single day. You know it's this, the Government of Canada website. You went and you searched for it, and you made sure you were on the right site, and you put your information. You're probably safe. Probably, nothing's 100% sure, but you're probably safe. But if somebody's reaching out to you and asking you for that information, that's what we call a red flag, right? Little things to think about. A lot of things that we've also seen over the last couple of years is investment scams. Lots and lots of fake websites out there for investment scams. Who, and this is a big topic, and too bad I might be able to pull it to you. Who's heard of cryptocurrency? A few people. Bitcoin? Who knows exactly what it is and how it works? Yeah, right? Cryptocurrency is this new weird space online. I'm a fraud investigator. I was a fraud investigator. I'm not a financial consultant. If I knew how to make money on cryptocurrency, I wouldn't be a fraud investigator. Right? Can people make money on cryptocurrency? Some people have. Some people have. Is there a lot of fraud in cryptocurrency? Oh my goodness. Is there ever? So, as of right now, and it may change, but as of right now, no Canadian agency accepts cryptocurrency as a form of payment. So if somebody in Canada, whether it be the CRA, Peel Police, the CBSA, the Canadian Border Services Agency, the IRCC, Immigration Refugee Services, I never forget the full acronym, sorry. Whoever, immigration, if they're telling you you need to pay us in cryptocurrency, that's red flag, do not pay. There's a lot of investment scams out there because there are people who are interested in getting into crypto because some people have bought it. I like to think of it less of a currency and more of a speculative commodity. Does everybody know what that means? Yeah, you're not buying money necessarily. You're kind of like buying gold and hoping it goes up in value so that you can sell it later on. I think that's how more people are using it when they're not using it for fraud. So there are lots of investment sites out there. There are lots of places that you can go to invest in cryptocurrency. But you have to be very careful. Has anybody heard the name Sam Bankman-Fried? Yes. A few people. Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried was a 20-something-year-old young man from the United States who opened up his cryptocurrency exchange called FTX in the Bahamas. He got movie stars like Matt Damon, Stephen Curry, the basketball player, Tom Brady, the quarterback for the New England Patriots. He got those big names, paid them millions of dollars to advertise for his campaigns. He had advertisements on the Super Bowl. It was huge. Everybody thought they could trust and invest in all this, and it turns out it was all fraud. He was stealing all that money. $220-something billion dissolved overnight when people took a run on his account. Okay? So be very, very careful if you are looking into invest in something like crypto. Trump's had a coin, right? Everybody heard that in the first week of his administration? Started out, I think it was $4 or $5, shot up to about $80, dropped back down to $70. Everybody who bought at $80 thinking they were going to make money is in the hole tens of thousands of dollars. If it had been a stock, he could be arrested by the Securities Exchange, but because it's crypto, it doesn't count. If you are going to invest, please don't use your life savings. Don't use your credit card. Don't use money that you need to survive. Be aware that there are people out there who will tell you you're going to make 300% return in like 10 days. Even Bitcoin, the most expensive one, doesn't go up that fast. Okay? They're going to tell you, if you invest with us, it's great. Look at your money, it's going up, it's going up. See our website? It's really cool, your money's increasing. And then when you want to get money out, they say, no, you have to put in $5,000 more to get a little bit more out. They're going to do things like, hey, you might not know anything about computers, that's okay, leave it to us. Install this program, it's called AnyDesk. Put it on your computer, that gives me remote access, I will do everything for you. You can watch me do it all for you. It's all a scam. I actually had a victim. He was a professor who used to teach computer sciences, and he thought he was very comfortable getting into the space. $90-some-odd thousand later, it was all gone. It was purchased. He invested with a guy. Turns out he was a Serbian national who had opened a business account in Wales, who had opened an account with the Canadian legitimate exchange, Coinberry, here in Canada. I think they're on the East Coast. So the two steps were legitimate, but the third one was gone. And once that money goes in crypto, it can transfer anywhere in the world in seconds. Couple of things to know. Crypto's decentralized. It's not like your giant banks. There's not one vault somewhere that controls all the information. It's not like Visa or MasterCard that has a couple of spots and they control all their info. Cryptocurrency is run by tens of millions of computers spread all throughout the world. You take out one, 10 more take its place. There is no way, as of right now, to cheat it. It's pretty secure in some ways, right? You can see every single transaction that's ever happened from day one to today. It's open for anybody to look at. But it's anonymous. All you have associated is a wallet ID and a number. So you don't know who that wallet belongs to. There is no Bitcoin customer support. If you want that refund because, hey, that Bitcoin that I sent off to that guy, he sold me something fake or I didn't get it and now I want a refund, there's nobody asked for that. There's no way to get that money back. Okay, it's gone. And once it's transferred, it can be accessed anywhere in the world. Okay? There are legitimate cryptocurrency exchanges in Canada. If you'd like to know more about them, the Ontario Securities Exchange has a website that does list the legitimate exchanges. But they are not banks. They are just like that little booth in the airport where you go to exchange Canadian and US dollars. That's all they're doing. They're facilitating the exchange. Okay? Any questions on that? I know crypto's a big thing. We see it a lot. It's huge in the news right now. Everybody's really comfortable? Everybody's going to go open a Bitcoin account tomorrow?
I like real money.
Another thing we kind of saw during COVID a lot was apartment rentals, vehicle sales, and puppy sales. The puppy sales breaks my heart. During COVID, it was really expensive to buy a puppy. You would have to pay upfront all the money all at once, and your standard, like, regular dog, nothing special, golden retriever, was probably running you about $6,000. And there were lots and lots of frauds. So if anything's really popular, right, the thing you have to remember is, number one, double check with that person, make sure that they're really selling the thing. Same with apartments. Double check that the apartment's actually being rented by the person you're going to go see. And then make sure that if you are giving money, you're not giving the whole thing up front, because it could possibly be a scam, okay? Past that. Advanced fee scams is another one we see a lot of, and job scams.
Yeah.
The job scams is really, really bad out there. I really like these websites like Monster and Indeed for posting your resumes. But their business model opens the posters up for a little bit of a fraud. And I'll tell you why. Have you ever heard the term for social media? If you're not the one paying, you are not the customer. Have you guys ever heard that? If you're getting something for free, you're not the person that's meant to make that company money. So Indeed, and I believe Monster as well, they don't charge you, as the person looking for a job, to post your resume. They charge the employer to look at those resumes, right? They charge that fee to the employers. What does that mean? That means anybody can be an employer as long as they pay the fee. So, during COVID, we saw a lot of people getting phone calls from potential employers that had their information because they pulled them off Indeed, they pulled them off Monster, they pulled them off all these aggregator sites. They got that information and they said, congratulations, you now have a job. It's all work from home. Just give us your social insurance information, give us your phone number, your email, and we're going to send you a check in the mail, and your job is to deposit that check and transfer. If it's $10,000, you transfer $6,000 off to this bank account, and the other $4,000 you keep for yourself. That's your payment. I hope I don't have to tell you guys that that's not a real job, but there were a lot of young people who were scammed by this job, a lot of desperate older people who were looking for jobs during COVID because there was nothing else that they could do. So be aware, if you are putting your information out there, there is a risk associated with it. Okay? Car thefts. Everybody knows what's going on with car thefts in our region, right? We had a huge spike. Thankfully, it's leveled off. It's probably even coming down a little bit now. People are more aware of car thefts. They're making sure to protect their vehicle. And they've put in a lot of steps at our borders, at our ports, to try to mitigate the amount of cars leaving the country. So it's starting to even out. And we've caught a lot of people too. But some of those cars do end up on Kijiji, they end up on Facebook Marketplace, they end up on Auto Trader, on Car Gurus. Right? No, I'm saying not the ones that go overseas, but some of them end up back here for sale. So be aware, if you are purchasing a new to you car, and it's a used car, and you're not going through a dealer, there's nothing wrong with that. But there are steps you should take to make sure everything's legitimate, okay? Get the VIN number before you give any money. There's two ways you can check that VIN number. The first way is to go to CPIC, Canadian Police Information Computer. You can run up to 2 numbers a month, I believe, for civilians. Put that VIN on there. If it says not on file, you're good. If it says on file, come see us. We're very interested. The other way to do it is to check to make sure that VIN is real. Go to the manufacturer's website and go to the recall page. This is a neat trick I learned from one of our auto crime guys. If you go to where it says recalls and type in that VIN, it'll tell you what car it's associated with, what year it is, what color it's supposed to be, and if there's any recalls on it. And you can see if it's real. If it's not real and says VIN not found, that's a red flag. Maybe go for a different car. Okay. The last kind of big fraud I'm going to talk about is romance scams. They are a big problem. Listen, ladies and guys, this happens to everybody, okay? The ladies report it to us more often. The men, for whatever reason, don't like to report it. They don't like to admit that they're being scammed by the ladies. I don't know why. Credit where credit's due. These guys will talk to their victims for weeks, if not months, before they ask for any money. They will know everything about them. They will get to know their life. They will really, really engage with that person online. They'll send them photos and give excuses as to why they can't meet or why they can't come online or where they are. They'll tell people that they're engaged. One of my victims, well, 2 of our victims, were part of a scam involving a guy here in Toronto. They were from Calgary and British Columbia. And they were convinced that this guy was the love of their life. They thought, this is my fiance. They never met him. We can giggle about it a little bit, but the truth is, we don't want to blame the victims, okay? We want to make sure that these victims get the help that they deserve. Because these guys are really, really, really good. They're con men. Has anyone ever heard that? It's an old quote attributed to Mark Twain. It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them that they've been fooled. And that's the truth of it. And these women spent tens of thousands of dollars on this guy. I think even hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of them was out $190,000. Well, he made the mistake of giving up the gig. So he decided that he was going to gloat a little bit. And he showed a picture of the brand new Lamborghini SUV, bright orange, that he bought using her money. Well, unfortunately for him, there's only 3 of those in Ontario, and now one of them belongs to Peel Police. So, we do catch people. Again, luckily this guy was here. The problem is, a lot of the time, this money goes quickly overseas, and once it's overseas, it's out of our jurisdiction. It's very hard for us to get back. Right? So, keep an eye on those things. If you do have a family member or a friend who is very obsessed with chatting with somebody online they've never met, or they're sending them money very often, or they're in love with a celebrity, and you're like, why do you think you're dating Gal Gadot? That's a real case, by the way. You know, it sometimes might be very difficult to convince them that the person that they love, the person on that other line, is trying to steal from them, isn't really who they think they are. It's really difficult to convince them, but you have to work and try, okay? So much so that one of our victims actually came to us afterwards. We couldn't get her money back. She sent it overseas. And she asked us, she goes, well, I won't send any more money, but how do you feel if I keep talking to you? That's how lonely she was. That's how involved with that person she was. That she was, even knowing that it wasn't real, that this person had stole money from her, she still wanted to have that relationship because that's all she had. Because it was real enough to her. So, really, yeah, it can be a little bit comedic, right? You think, how does somebody fall for this? But these frauds, they can happen to anybody at any time. So watch out for one another, okay? If you ever want a good resource for things like, for learning about different frauds, has everybody heard of the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center? No. So the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center is an RCMP organization that is assisted by the OPP. They're out in Thunder Bay. And they catalog all the different frauds that come to the desk. They used to be called phone busters back in the day. Anybody ever hear that? So you can go to their website. If you're a victim of fraud, they do offer some victim assistance. They also catalog everything. So if you're bored on the toilet and you want to read about different frauds, that website's fantastic if you can get to it. There's also the Ontario Securities Exchange and getonlinesmart.ca. If you ever have a question, if you're ever being pressured into giving money up for something and you're not sure if it's a fraud, number one, the biggest thing should be, if they're pressuring you, it probably is a fraud. But if you're concerned, please call Peel Regional Police. I would rather have a 5-minute phone call with you than spend 6 months investigating your case, because that's probably what it's going to take. Make sure that your passwords are nice and secure. For this, I use a computer. I don't know if this will work. Make sure your passwords are nice and secure. This is a fun little thing I like to go online and do to show people, because it illustrates how important it is to have a good password. Your password would be cracked instantly. That means it takes no time. A computer can figure that out like that. Don't use password as your password. Don't use your own name. Don't use your birthday. Okay? Simple things, right? So we tell you to make it a mixture of letters and numbers and special characters. So password's not very secure, but what about password 1, 2, 3, 4? It's better. They're taking 3 years. I really still want to have my money in 3 years. So maybe that's not enough time. So we'll make it a little bit better. Password, $$. Now how long does it take them? 600,000 years. If they crack into my bank account after 600,000 years, they can have whatever's left. I don't get it. Right? So password 1, 2, 3, $4, $. Don't use that password, that one's mine. Okay, but make sure it's a mixture. I know that there's so many passwords that people have nowadays, right? Because it's not like it used to be where you just had your email and maybe your banking. Now you have your email, your other email, your kid's email, your Facebook, your Instagram, your WhatsApp password, your password to your bank, your password to your other bank, your password to your kid's account, your password to your kid's school account, and it goes on and on. Do you know how many passwords the average internet user has? 150. And they're all supposed to be different. That's the average. How can you, yeah, that's a great question. How can you remember that? So, there are a lot of tools out there that do help you, not just to remember your passwords, there are password vaults that exist out there. If you're an Apple user and you have an iPhone, Apple now comes with a password vault. I've talked to some IT tech guys, security guys, and they said that's better than to use the same password for everything. Okay? There are individual programs that you can download if you're an Android user. Lots of companies out there offer different password vaults. I highly recommend trying to use one. Have one super good, super secure password, and the rest are random. The other thing to do sometimes too is check to make sure that your email hasn't been part of a hack. So if you ever want to see if your email was part of a hack, you can go here and it'll tell you if your email was part of something. So here's hoping my still okay. Zero data breaches. Now your work email's still good. So it'll tell you if you've been part of a data breach. It'll tell you what data breach it was part of. Anybody have an account with the City of Hamilton recently? Good. Last year they were hacked, right? And if your email was part of their hack, this would tell you. So it's a pretty good little website. It's haveibeenpawned.com. All you enter is just your email address, no other information, and it'll show you if your email was part of a hacking list. If it was, whatever account it's associated to, make sure you change that password yesterday, right? Change it right away, and change it to something secure. Are there any questions? I apologize that for whatever reason my fraud presentation doesn't want to load today. I'm convinced that the computer wants you guys to be part of the fraud. Thank you. So if you have any questions, now's the time. Right here. Yes. Sorry folks, just a question. I can't hear.
So if your WhatsApp is hacked,
yes,
which happened to me, what do you do? What are the measures?
So that's a great question. Meta is the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and a couple other ones. But those are the big three that they own. And my understanding is they're not terribly helpful if you lose your account. They're not very helpful. So the one thing you should always do for all your accounts is to set up two-factor authentication. Does everybody know what that is? No. Okay. So if you have your email, like if you have a Gmail account, it'll ask you for a cell phone number as a way to verify it's you. Yes. Use that whenever you can. Your bank may have that. Yeah. Your Facebook account will have that. WhatsApp should have that. The other thing I highly recommend, for those of you who don't want to use online banking, I would still say set it up and just make sure you have a really good, strong, secure password, or let your bank know that you're not going to use it. Because I did have a victim approach me as I was leaving, telling me that the bank she was with, her account was emptied out when she showed up one day. She never used online banking, and when she went and told them about it, they said, your money was all withdrawn from your online account. She said, I never set it up. So the problem is if you don't set it up, someone might set it up for you. So make sure you either deactivate it through the bank, or you set it up and make it really, really strong.
How do you know? Of course. Set up.
There's no way. So I would go check if you haven't set one up yourself, go to your bank and ask them if you have an online profile, and if so, and you don't want to use it, let them know that you're not going to be using it. They can put that in the bank notes.
How long do you have to activate it?
Sorry?
How long do you get activated? Every year you have to activate?
Well, your online banking?
Yeah.
I don't know, check with your individual bank. Some banks are all online, but it depends, it's going to depend on each bank.
I would like to know.
Sorry, excuse me.
I would like to know what they're doing to stop those people.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
well,
what they're doing.
We're doing our best. So the laws already exist. The law of fraud, right? Fraud, I think it's section 334, 1A and B. So if it's fraud over, fraud under, is in the criminal code. There's punishments associated with it, right? Depending on the amounts, it's going to depend on the severity of any punishments that come with it. I've had some cases that have gotten thrown out. I've got some cases where the person has gone to jail for a little bit of time. I've got some cases where the person just promised to pay some money back. So it's been kind of all over the board. We are good at catching people that are here. But again, once that money goes overseas, and often that money's not coming back anyway. And even the ones that are paid back, it's fractions of what they actually spent. Should. So if it goes overseas, and it's to a country that we don't have a mutual lateral agreement with, Forget it, it's gone.
So we, the one that really has to protect ourselves.
Yes, very much so. It's very much a case. This is why I'm here telling you guys, right? This is why I'm teaching you, because again, that ounce of prevention is worth way more than a pound of that cure. Yes, sir.
Just because you mentioned we don't see the face. It's an offer I have for $500,000 from France.
Sure.
It's all in Portuguese, and she wants my email.
Sure. Yeah. People just want to give you €100,000.
Well,
Sure.
I'm too rich to deny it. $500,000.
Yeah, be careful. There's lots of stuff. I know WhatsApp. I used to receive messages almost weekly from different pretty young ladies telling me to invest in them. So, yeah, lots of phone calls.
The thing is, this can happen to anyone.
It can.
Because I know a friend of mine, she works at the bank. And she was going to the bank to get money, give money to them because the husband, he works anywhere all over the place.
Yeah.
And the government said she has to pay that money, otherwise the husband will be in trouble. And she went to the bank, and the bank, they knew her, and they called the door, and they said, no, don't do anything, this is a fraud.
Yeah.
And she was a smart lady, so she did it.
So my victim from British Columbia, the 91-year-old woman, the only reason she found out it was a fraud was because the bank employee at CIBC noticed that she had been taking that money. But she had been taking that money for 2 years before the bank noticed. So,
That's scary.
again, please be very, very suspicious of anybody asking you for money. Okay? Do your homework, do your double checks, and make sure that the person is legitimate. You know, one thing I forgot to talk about was contractor fraud, right? We're in that season. We're in season 2 of Canada, winter and construction. And so do your homework when it comes to the contractors. Get quotes, get word of mouth. Go on the mommy groups on Facebook and ask them if they've used this contractor. Because if he was bad, they will tell you. Yeah, mommy groups are the best. Those ladies are vicious. So, please be safe out there, be careful. Thank you very much for having me here today.
Estão acontecendo lá fora. And I hope everybody had a little bit of an idea of things that's happening out there. And hopefully we can have Officer Ariel back again. And hopefully his computer will be updated before he comes in. But I guess it was a good presentation. I'm just busy in the kitchen because I'm cooking for tomorrow. Tomorrow night we're having the mess, and our seniors group has offered to give away soup. So I'm busy, as you can see. So, como vocês veem, eu não estive na apresentação porque estou na cozinha a começar a preparar a sopa para amanhã. Então por isso espero que todos tenham gostado e talvez para a próxima vez a gente faça com mais tempo. Thank you, Officer Ariel. Thank you so much for everything, and we hope to have you back. We hope to have you back to present. Sorry, I wasn't able to be here because I'm busy in the kitchen.
Boa tarde às senhoras.
Boa tarde, senhora. Olha, quero dar-lhes os parabéns dos 6 anos.
Muito obrigada.
E
a senhora tem alguma coisa para dizer a alguém? Algumas visitas para dar para as pessoas?
tenho uma visita para mandar à senhora Isa, das Capelas. Olha, estou aqui com uma amiga minha, Zélia. A gente estamos no mesmo salão. Uma boa amiga. Ela gosta muito dos meus brasileiros, ela e o marido.
E essa senhora Isa é dos Açores? que é de exercise?
Não. Ela faz já muito quando ela tem um canal.
Comidas?
Ela começou com comidas e agora com receitas.
Com receitas para as pessoas, né?
Ela agora leva todos os dias a palavra do Evangelho, também dá explicação.
E é um programa bonito, não é? Está no YouTube.
No YouTube. O canal dela chama-se Uma Mulher Açoriana, se não estou enganada.
O canal?
Sim.
Tá bom.
Só queria mandar muitos beijinhos para ela. E cumprimentos para o seu marido e toda a família. Estive lá um ano passado na casa dela. Gostei muito de conhecer. Também queria mandar um beijinho para as minhas primas em Toronto, minha prima de Kingston e uma prima que eu tenho aí de Monton, que também vê o canal do Sr. Francisco.
Também vê o canal, ok? Agora um abraço para elas. E obrigado. A senhora tem mais alguma coisa a acrescentar? A senhora?
Sim. Para mim é um beijinho muito grande para a senhora Isa, para a família, para a netinha, que ela deu um beijo apertado naquela netinha, que é a coisa mais linda, que é tudo bem do meio. E parabéns da sua outra neta que está aqui no Canadá. Ela fez 2 aninhos no dia 8 de julho. Ela nasceu no dia da minha filha, que faz 47 anos.
Meu filho também faz no dia 8 de
julho. Minha filha faz no dia 8 de julho.
Parabéns para
47 anos.
Parabéns.
Não é mais velha, basta mais velha. É uma família muito simpática e que ela continue o seu trabalho e que tem muitas pessoas que lhe adorem,
gostem de ver o
canal, embora haja sempre críticas, mas faz parte do canal.
Nosso Senhor não agradou a todos.
Exatamente. Mas ela faz um canal, é dor.
A senhora gosta de ver?
Já há 5 anos. O problema é que manda sempre um like.
Um like para ela. Faz sempre um like, é bom.
Sim, escrever português, né? Só manda sempre um like, já há 5 anos.
Ok, olha, gostei de conversar com as senhoras. Agora tenho uma boa tarde e um bom fim de semana.
E um feliz aniversário para você.
Muito obrigada, senhora. Muito obrigado. Tchau. Até à próxima. O senhor esteve na tropa na Angola, não foi?
Não, estive em Moçambique.
Moçambique. E encontrou um amigo da tropa?
Encontrei no iPad o nome dessa pessoa. O nome dele é José Batista.
José Batista, e é de Saturno?
E aí esteve comigo na tropa, então teve uma emboscada, que ele ficou ferido, o primo Antônio, o filho não é soldado do Pinto, a gente estava juntos, não sei se ele se lembra, se ele se lembrar muito bem, se ele não se lembrar, paciência, e não sei se ele vai ver esse tempo ou não.
Ok.
Mas fiquei muito contente.
E o senhor tem o seu amigo aí?
É esse que está aqui.
Espera aí, só que segura aí. É esse o seu amigo? Eu tenho um cozinho bonito.
Tem, olha adoro este cozinho. Mas eu já não vejo só há mais de 50 anos. Viemos da tropa quando eu fui para o seu destino e tenho muitos amigos, talvez já não está aqui.
E ele é da sua terra, não é?
Ele é de Rabo de Peixe.
Rabo de Peixe.
O pai dele era o seu. Ele era José Batista, mas a gente conhece o Artur da Barrosa, que era o pai.
Ele tinha um apelido, não é?
O Artur da Barrosa e o primo Antônio da Barrosa. Mas há muitos anos que eu fiquei muito contente de falar com ele. Eu falar com ele desde esse tempo, para ele me conhecer, porque eu pensava, não me peça com o Silvinho, ele só disse, estás a falar e penso que tu és o Silvinho.
Não acreditava, não é?
Não acreditava que a gente só falamos, não vimos muito, mas um dia eu vou fazer um FaceTime para ele, se ele vir o PEC também gostava de me ver.
Ok. Ora, um abraço para ele e para si também, muita saúde.
E olha, mais uma vez aqui.
E obrigado.
E eu ainda tenho esperanças de falar com ele no iPad.
No iPad.
Para a gente se conhecer melhor.
Ok, muito obrigado pelas suas palavras.
Obrigado, Francisco.
Nada.
Faz um bom trabalho, se não és tu, a gente não vê ninguém.
Ok, muito obrigado. Olha, que tenham uma boa semana
e até foi-se embora a luz.
E até a luz apagou-se.
Tchau. Obrigado.